What's up, guys? Welcome back to 299 Tactical. Today I have a CZ Scorpion to go over with you guys. So this is my personal gun. This is actually my bedside piece, my home defense weapon, if you will, and we can get into that in depth in a whole nother video in itself, but I'll just tell you a little why I picked this gun. I had quite a few options for PCCs. If you're not familiar with what that is, it was a pistol caliber carbine. So again, that's a carbine style gun that shoots a pistol caliber. So this shoots a 9x19 or a 9mm Parabellum, however you want to say it, 9mm Luger, whatever. It just shoots 9mm, and it's fantastic. So you have a amazing amount of options to put in this gun as far as loadings, you know, different bullet weights, different objectives, a lot of home defense or self-defense rounds, and it runs them all. It's very fantastic for that. So I wanted something short, compact, tidy, and something that would fit right along the nightstand, wouldn't show a whole lot, so that way if anybody comes in, I got it right there, I need it, I gotta pick it up. You know, there's not a lot of collateral damage with a 9mm hollow point. If it were to pass through somebody, it would slow down immediately. So I think it's a very fantastic option for that. So there's always downsides of things, but that's why I picked this. This is its main role. So now that we got that out of the way, I can get you kind of some of the specs on this guy. So if you guys want to go out and buy a CZ Scorpion, this is the Evo S3, so it's the 3rd generation. This is the newest model they have. So if you want to go out and buy one of these today, you have basically 2 configurations. You can get it as a pistol, which is everything from here forward, or you could get it as a carbine, which is where you would get a stock and have a 16-inch barrel, and the fore end would be much, much longer. So this guy only has like an 8-inch barrel in it. As a pistol, it's still over 5 pounds as a pistol, so it's actually pretty heavy. I know it doesn't look it. It's got a polymer lower, all aluminum upper, and the bolt carrier inside is a direct blowback gun. So the bolt carrier is where a majority of the mass is in this gun. It's extremely heavy because since it's a direct blowback, the operation system, it's just working right on the bolt face, throwing that bolt back, and then the recoil spring throws it forward. So you'll notice this gun is extremely oversprung when you go to shoot it. It wants to really, really nose down a lot on you when the bolt comes home. So, but it's extremely reliable that way, being a blowback gun. So these guys are actually made in a machine gun as well. The real derivative of this gun is a machine gun. You're talking a crazy cyclic rate, north of 900 rounds a minute. So it is a awesome, awesome shooter. This is actually braced though. I did put a KAK shockwave blade on it with their AR buffer tube adapter. So bolts right up to the back of the Scorpion. It's literally a 5-minute thing. It's super, super easy. A couple other notable mods that I've done to this gun. I did do an AK style shorty safety selector switch here. So you can see it's just a real short flat blade. So that will be in the safe position, and here's fire. The original one kind of comes down here, and when you have your finger on the trigger, it kind of digs into your finger here, and it almost make your finger go raw if you shoot enough. So that was one of the things that a lot of guys complain about this, and that's a very valid complaint. So I went ahead and grabbed one of those just to show you guys real quick. On the other side of the gun, this is what your factory safety selector would look. They are ambidextrous, obviously. So while we're on this side of the gun, let's just talk from here. Got a HB Industries trigger. That's an anodized shoe. It's in black, and it's also a forward set, so it's slightly farther forward than the factory trigger, and it has their return spring trigger spring kit in it, so it's only about 5.5 pound overall pull, which they claim the factory one's about 12.5, and I agree, it is very, very awful. I don't actually have a lot of experience behind this trigger yet, because this is the first time this gun's been out and been run really hard since October of last year. So also did a new grip on it as well, and a duckbill style safety selector, a paddle safety selector, or a mag release, excuse me. So working forward on the other side of the gun, we'll just cover this guy while we're up here. This is a new Trijicon MRO I just got. It's on American Defense QD mount. This is a low mount, so it is a completely drop down as far as it can get. So it does not co-witness with the factory sights though. It's just a slight bit too tall to co-witness. However, it is very rapid to pick up the dot. As soon as you put your cheek down on this brace, man, the dot is right there. So it's perfect height for that. It really won't work well for you AR guys though, because usually AR guys, if you run irons, you want like a lower 1/3 co-witness or a full co-witness, which is significantly taller than this, which they do sell through American Defense. So That has been doing fantastic. This actually has adjustable tension lock on it, so that you can adjust how hard you have to close the lever on the upper pick rail. Going forward, it has a pick rail the length of the receiver, obviously, and these are the factory sights. In the rear, you're going to have 4 flip-up apertures from a ghost ring all the way down to a microscopic little peep sight here. So you can do a lot with these factory irons. They are adjustable for both windage and elevation. The front kind of uses like an AR style tool to adjust it, like an A2 post tool to adjust it. So that works really, really well, and they are fantastic. I put a TLR 1HL on this. So this is the high output light. It's about 800 lumens. I think it's just under 800 lumens, 775, something like that. It does have high and strobe. It's also programmable, so you can do high and low or high strobe low, whatever you want. It's a fantastic light for the money, and a lot of guys run those on their concealed carry guns. So I've had no issues with it so far. So it's working out great on here, because you can kind of, when you get your purchase on the front end, if you need to just grab it here with your middle finger, it's really, really easy when you're up at the and it just makes it great for home defense. If somebody came in your house, you disorient them very well with that, especially at nighttime. So it has a standard flash hider on it. This is what you'll get it with. Some guys, depending on the generation you get, it'll be 18x1 left hand at the muzzle. Others, it'll be 1/2 inch by 28 at the muzzle, depending on which generation you get after they change the importing of these guns. So it does have the ability to have an ambidextrous charging handle. So you can swap sides, or you can actually run 2 if you really wanted to. So there's a spot here, and on this side of the gun, here's where the charging handle actually is for me. I run it on the left-hand side. It's a little more comfortable for me that way. And I do have an HB Industries oversized charging handle. So kind of HK slap it there if you want. It's kind of fun to do. But that works out really, really well. The factory ones is a little too short. You kind of rub your hand almost on this pick rail, and it can chew your fingers up pretty bad. So again, it's basically like all other guns. You see, you know, minor improvements you need to make with it, and then it turns into, oh, well, I'm going to end up building this thing. Kind of like if you guys are into race cars at all, well, you buy a daily, and then you end up modding the daily, then you need a race car. Well, then you need a new daily. Well, that's kind of how this is too. But eventually, plans for this is to go to an SBR. I definitely want to submit my paperwork, do a Form 1 on it, get my SBR. I'll get a factory CZ folder for it, which will drop the cheek down even further, so you get an even better sight picture on this guy. And yeah, it'll be a stout little gun. And I also want to do an HB Industries 4N conversion on it, go to an M-lock, cut it down to a 5.3 inch barrel, and then run a vertical foregrip once it's a SBR. So this will be a very, very good candidate for just about any purpose you want to use it for, except for, I don't know, probably not the best for hunting or you know, anything like that, but it'd be a great truck gun. It'd be a great home defense gun. It'd be a great backpacker if you're going hiking, any of that kind of stuff where you need a small conceal option. They also sell this stock adapter, or I should say brace adapter, in a folding mechanism. It's just going to lengthen it, and I wanted to keep it as short as I could. So I have the overall length of pull set as far as you can right now. At least that's where the ATF wants to see it, you know, 13 inches or less from the trigger to the end of the brace. So that's where I have it set at. But overall, this is a fantastic little gun. I really like it. I've enjoyed it. I've got a lot of trigger time behind it. I mean, we're north of 1,500 rounds now after shooting it today. I just sighted in the MRO. I got it shooting a dime size group at 10 yards. It's running fantastic. So let's go ahead and show you guys, see how she runs. So funny story, when I bought this, I had to buy the Maryland, California compliant model because that's all they had in stock. So I literally got 2 10-round mags from the factory and had to buy a 30-rounder instead of getting that with the gun. So that totally sucked. And for those of you who don't know, the mags are ultra expensive for these. For whatever reason, CZ thinks it's okay to charge somebody $25 for a mag, you know, and they're all just polymer, nothing fancy about them. Magpul is coming out with mags for these for about 20 bucks, and it's a 35-round stick. It also has metal enforced, I think it has metal enforced feed lips, but I'm not totally positive on that. Don't hold me to it. I only got a real quick demonstration when we were at the outdoor show this year in PA. So either way, got a 10-rounder loaded up here, and then we'll run the 30. It's only got 10 in it though, because my range kind of sucks for that, but it is what it is. So you'll notice as I'm shooting this, just pay attention to the recoil impulse. You would think this gun has no recoil, being a 9mm, and that's not the case. For what it is, it's extremely uncomfortable to shoot compared to another pistol with a KAK brace like my AR pistol in 223. That has a softer recoil impulse than this gun because it's direct gas impingement versus a direct blowback. So you're getting a lot of excessive force throwing this carrier around. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to run one of these as a machine gun, and it's got to be pretty crazy. I'll just blip the trigger here a little bit so you can see. So the trigger is not very fast. It has kind of like a lot of reset, but it's nice and crisp now. It's really short as far as the break goes, and it's nice and crisp. But just imagine running one of these at 900 rounds a minute. It would be a pretty badass little rig. It would be a lot of gun to control. You'd have to definitely be very cautious of the muzzle, you know, coming up when you're getting a lot of flip. So my buddy's Vector is a 45, and compared to this, that I would rather shoot that all day than this thing. As far as recoil goes, that thing is extremely soft on the shoulder. It's much better than this, and his is an SBR, so it's a nice compact tidy package. I actually have a video of that for you guys down. It was one of my first videos I put up, actually. I did a review on that, complete overview. We did a couple mag dumps in it and had some fun with it. Gun runs extremely fast. Again, that's another one of those crazy pistol caliber carbines where, you know, the machine gun version of that will shoot north of 1,200 rounds a minute. That's no joke. That's literally 1,200 rounds a minute. It flies. So, but to me, I would rather have this 10 out of 10 times than a Vector, just because I like 9mm better. I know you can get a Vector in 9mm. That's not my issue with it. It's just, it's direct blowback. It doesn't have any real fancy moving parts inside of it, kind of like the Vector with the Flying V recoil mitigation system. Another comparable gun to this would be like a SIG MPX. You know, all you guys out there who are John Wick fans, that's what he went to in the newest movie in Chapter 3. He's running a SIG MPX with a bunch of Terran Tactical goodies on it. That's a great PCC as well. So as I was saying, guys, like John Wick 3, he uses an MPX, which is again another 9mm kind of like pistol caliber carbine that fits into that role. I know a lot of guys are gonna definitely hit on the MP5 as being a fantastic PCC, and they're not wrong. I've actually got to run a couple machine gun MP5s, MP5K, and also an MP5 SD that was suppressed. That was a ton of fun, and when they say that's the Cadillac of machine guns, they're not kidding. Very little muzzle flip, very heavy, very compact and tidy, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. To run that gun fast, you have to be very proficient with it. So that's one of my major drawbacks with the MP5. Also, they're extremely expensive. They are nutso expensive. Like even just to get a knockoff, like a Zenith or anything like that, you're talking north of $2 grand, easily north of $2 grand. Whereas this gun, when I bought it, was $600, $650 street price. So you can deck this thing out and do anything you want to it and still be less than what an MPX would cost you, or even a Vector's pretty expensive, you know, 13, 15, sometimes more than that, depending on what you want to get. So really, best bang for your buck, in my opinion, pistol caliber carbine, except for maybe like some people are going to argue a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. I think that's a pretty valid argument. That's a cheap gun. You could do a lot with that for what it is, but I don't know. It's very plasticky and cheap feeling to me, so I don't know how I feel about that. Here's one of my problems though with a 10-round mag. It doesn't really want to. The mag doesn't seat very well. It's so short when it's loaded. With that many rounds in the mag, it doesn't want to like push up all the way and seat very well. So that's why I much prefer this. I need to get more of these. So let's see here. Let's go a little bit faster. Do some transitions here. So it's not too bad. Had a couple A-zone hits up there. Looking pretty good. Coming across, just running some 2/3 IPSC size targets, USPSA targets, however you want to say it. So this gun it transitions super fast. Just so smooth. And with the MRO being in this low mount, you can really get your head down and just keep your head planted on the brace and just run through whatever's in front of you. And like I said, I haven't ran this thing really fast in a long time, but you can juice it up pretty quick and get some pretty fast cyclic rate out of it just by, you know, running it with your finger semi-auto. So I think it's an awesome little gun. I really do. I have nothing bad to say about it. I have had north of 1,500 rounds through this thing at this point, and I've had 0 malfunctions. I can wholeheartedly say any mag that I've put in there, like I said, these don't really want to lock in there that well. I don't know if that's just my particular example or if I'm having trouble with it, but you know, no issues whatsoever with it. It's fantastic. I love the little thing. I can't wait to SBR it. It won't be my bedside gun anymore once I SBR it, because you know that's got trouble written all over if you ever need to use it. But I'll use my AR pistol for that role, and this will just be a fancy range toy, and I'll blaze it up some more. We'll put some more stuff on it. I'll keep you guys updated as I modify it, especially once I get the HBI 4-end conversion on it, because it's going to be significantly shorter and much more tighty. And then I'll put the HBI 4-end on it. I will get my overall length measurement. I'll submit my paperwork for my SBR form. Then once that comes in, you know, if I e-file it, hopefully 2-3 weeks right now is what most guys are looking at. And then I'll have the factory folder on here, and I'll be able to show you guys it as an SBR. So looking forward to that, and much more mods to continue in the future. So if you guys like this, please feel free to tune back in. Let me know better what I can do down in the comments below. You know, anything you guys might think that you want to see, I can try to make that happen. Comment that down below. If you're a Scorpion owner, any generation, I'd love to hear about the older ones. I actually have not got a chance to shoot one of those, so feel free, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. How's yours running for you? Have you had any issues?